What unbelievable workplace complaint turned out to be completely true after all. After spending 12 years working in human resources, I believed I'd heard every strange complaint imaginable. Employees stealing lunches, awkward restroom incidents, arguments over someone microwaving fish in the break room. Nothing surprised me anymore. Then one Tuesday morning, Marcus from accounting walked into my office looking completely serious. "I need to file a formal complaint," he said. I opened a new incident report. "What's going on?" He adjusted his glasses before quietly answering. "Janet from marketing is trying to poison me." For a moment, I honestly thought he was joking. Janet was one of the kindest people in the company. She was 62 years old, baked homemade cookies every Friday, and never forgot anyone's birthday. "Can you explain?" I asked. Marcus leaned across my desk. "Every morning at exactly 9:23, she puts something into my coffee." I tried not to roll my eyes. Marcus had a reputation for believing coworkers were constantly plotting against him. He often suspected people were stealing his ideas or trying to undermine his work. "Could she just be adding sugar or cream?" I suggested. He immediately shook his head. "No, she waits until I'm distracted, then drops something into my mug." He explained that the day before, he'd pretended to walk toward the restroom but secretly watched from around the corner. He clearly saw Janet add something to his coffee. I wrote down his statement, expecting the investigation to end quickly. Then Marcus added one final detail. "Every time she does it, I get sick. Stomach cramps, sweating, dizziness." He insisted the symptoms only appeared on days his coffee had been tampered with. That finally caught my attention. "How long has this been happening?" 3 weeks. He reached into his bag and handed me a notebook. Every incident had been carefully recorded. Dates, times, symptoms, everything. I promised I'd investigate. Later that afternoon, I casually mentioned Marcus's stomach problems while speaking with Janet. To my surprise, she smiled. "Oh yes," she said. "I've been helping him." The moment she said those words, my stomach dropped. Helping him? How? She proudly explained that Marcus always looked exhausted in the mornings. Because he drank so much coffee, she decided to secretly improve his health. Every morning, she added a small amount of what she called her special metabolism booster. "What exactly is in it?" I asked. She happily listed the ingredients: ginseng, guarana, several herbal supplements recommended by her naturopath. I immediately stopped the conversation. "Janet, you can't secretly give supplements to another employee." She looked genuinely confused. "But it's completely natural," she insisted. "Natural things can't hurt people." I immediately called Marcus into my office and explained everything. The color drained from his face. "I'm severely allergic to ginseng," he whispered. "It's documented in my medical records. I even carry an EpiPen." We rushed him to urgent care. Doctors confirmed he'd been experiencing repeated allergic reactions for weeks. The doses weren't large enough to trigger full anaphylaxis, but they were enough to leave his body constantly fighting the allergen, causing the cramps, dizziness, and exhaustion he'd been documenting. Janet lost her job that same afternoon. Even then, she couldn't understand why. She kept repeating the same sentence. I was only trying to help. Soon the company's legal department became involved after Marcus filed a workers' compensation claim. The business paid for his medical treatment, along with the time he missed recovering. Afterward, we introduced a new company policy. No employee could ever give another person food, drinks, supplements, or medication without clear permission. 6 months later, I ran into Marcus at a grocery store. He looked healthier than I'd ever seen him. He smiled and said, "The strangest part is that everyone thought I was paranoid." Toward the end, even I started wondering if I was imagining it. I smiled back. "Always trust your instincts." Because ever since that case, whenever someone walks into my office with a complaint that sounds completely impossible, I remember Janet and the helpful powder she secretly added to someone else's coffee every single morning.